Alright guys, welcome back. And I finally got those spiders all dealt with. It was quite a pain in the butt. And you can see we look pretty safe at the moment. I still want to get down here and get some miners on this. But we got to deal with those spiders and probably those. And this being a desert is really rough. That means the pollution will spread a lot faster because there is no trees. We also have this one and this one that are somewhat close. But as of right now, you can see, which we don't have anything really running up there right now, but you can see we're doing pretty decent on our iron. We've actually got 5K in this one and 11K in that one, so not doing too horrible at that for the moment, now that we've got all that saphirite in here, making us all kinds of iron. And there's a few things that we need to do research-wise. One, we need this flare stack, because I think that's what we're going to be able to use to get rid of that hydrogen, so I'm going to start that one now. And then we also have our advanced chemistry, which we need to do. I don't even. Oh, to be able to get to our batteries, since we have solar, we want to get to batteries pretty soon. Or we have solar, we can start doing, but it really isn't going to do a whole lot of good if we can't store the power. Another thing that we want to do is this advanced ore refining 1. That's going to give us faster crushers and ore sorters. That way we don't have to put out more of these. We can just upgrade them. We also have what was that other thing that I wanted to get into? So I'm going to do these two probably next. We need to work on the sulfur one there. We also have resin, but I'm not sure what we need that for. We have advanced materials, which will give us a void chest and a steel furnace. Steel furnace, I do believe, will open us up for the electric when we get to blue. There's also fluid burning furnace. Never used those. Concrete, all kinds of decent things we're going to get from that. So we need to get that done soon. Our engines, which will open us up to being able to make a car, a tank, apparently diesel generators, trains, which are the bane of my existence. We definitely want to get this electric done so we can make the better poles. We have got all kinds of things that need to be researched. Sniper turrets, these things are freaking awesome. But we got to do military before we do that. So, yeah, we've got tons of things we need to be working on. And along with lots of things that we need to be researching, we also have lots of things that we need to actually be doing. So I'm kind of at a loss here of what needs to be done next. I still haven't gotten to mess around with the other kind of tree stuff and the farming stuff that I wanted to get into, but I really don't have. That's not really a priority at the moment. After all of that fighting I just got done, I really want to get these piercing rounds made, because those yellow bullets just aren't cutting it anymore, especially against those medium worms and biters. And we can do it with a regular firearm mag, copper plate, and steel plate, but we don't have the good steel production at the moment, and anything that we can do to not use iron is better. And there's this one that uses bronze plates and nickel plates. Both of those are pretty easy to make. Nickel we actually have down there right now that's just going in a box, so this will be a good use for it. Regular processing, except for the fact that it needs carbon monoxide to mix with the nickel ore. Carbon monoxide, we can do hydrogen and carbon dioxide, which is part of this loop we have over here. And that's going to give us carbon monoxide, excuse me, and purified water. We do need to use up our hydrogen gas, so that's not a issue there, and the carbon dioxide just comes from coal. We could do it from limestone making lime, but then we don't really have a use for the lime as of now. We will when we get into these bricks. So we're probably going to do the hydrogen and carbon dioxide to get it. And there's a lot of things coming up that we actually need purified water for. So that'll actually be good to give us purified water. This is the other thing that I wanted to get set up, is making the slag slurry, which is coming from our slag and sulfuric acid. And we have all kinds of slag that we're just turning into crushed stone at the moment. That's the actual crushed stone. I'm not even sure where I put the... I've actually forgotten where I put the slag, but I know we got some of it. Anyways, we don't have any lead processing right now because we're full up on hydrogen. So we're actually going to try setting up one of those flare stacks if I can find the thing. There it is. So we're going to make one of these since that got done. We're going to set up the advanced ore refining there. And now what we're going to try to do is we're going to... Yeah, I'm just going to put this right here for right now. And that should... Yep, burn off hydrogen. And by it doing that, that means that we can now make oxygen again, which means that our lead processing can start running again. So we can make more bullets, which we most definitely need to do. Now, what I'm probably going to end up doing is set up to make the nickel. I have to figure out where I'm going to do that at. And then with the hydrogen, we'll do an overflow valve. And we'll just send any excess hydrogen to the flare stack. But I wanted to get the lead running again because I had over 4,000 bullets before I started that trip, and I'm down to 974. So I definitely need to get the lead going. The other part of making those bullets is I need bronze. And bronze is very simple, it's just copper and tin. So I need to set up a way to mix copper and tin together to make bronze for those. I wanted to set them up here next to the copper, but I ended up putting the lead and the solder here, so I don't have a spot next to it to do it. So I'm not real sure where I'm going to put it as of yet. We do have this area over in here that we can start using. I don't want to spread out too far this way, like I said, because of that desert, but we can put some stuff over there if we need to. As you can see, we're starting to run out of this copper vein over here, but that's not a big issue since we have butt tons of copper already sitting there waiting, because we're not smelting it up that much right now. And we also have another one of these veins right over here. We got one there, we got one there. And we also get copper in from our saprite as well. So, not a huge issue that it's running down. Alright, so we got the ore refining done. I'm going to go ahead and do the advanced chemistry next. And I'll probably do the electrical lines after that. We'll take a look up here and see how our science stuff is going. Now that we have a decent amount of iron coming in. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like it's keeping up pretty nice. These belts are staying good and full. This one's not even needed. Yeah, that's staying pretty good. We might even be able to add another, but I don't think we should. I think we've got enough there. We could actually put in a couple more labs if I wanted to, but I don't really want to right now because I'm behind on a bunch of other things that I need to get done, so I don't need to do too much research too fast. So we've only got 1.3 of our bullets in there. Go look and see down here. We want to get a little bit more lead throughput. So basically I just need to expand this a bit, make a few more of these ore sorting facilities. That way we can get a little bit more lead out of there, and this is also going to give us, this is also giving us the nickel that we're going to need to upgrade it, so I'll probably start working on that. Basically this is just a video for you guys to see all the things that I need to get worked on and look at a lot of different things. May not actually get anything properly set up. I did add a new mod, which is a to-do list. I don't know why I didn't have it before. And I'm going to add on here piercing bullets, and then another thing that we have that we need to get worked on is changing over our coal production, so we can do crushed coal and purified water. Like I said, we're going to be needing purified water for a lot of things. Well, if we change this over, so we're making our coke instead of in those furnaces, which is burning our carbon to make our coke, we can actually use a liquefier or a chemical plant, which will want to do the liquefier because it's a little bit faster. But that's going to give us sulfuric wastewater, which the sulfuric wastewater can be ran through a hydro plant to give us sulfur, mineralized water, and purified water. Not more purified water than what went in originally, though. And then we have mineralized water, which needs more carbon dioxide to make green algae, which can be used to make cellulose, which then can be used to make compost, methanol gas, which I think we can eventually burn this stuff, but I'm not 100% on that. And I'm sure there's lots of other things we can do with it. We can make it into cellulose pulp once we do paper, and we need this acid, which we'll probably see here in a minute. And yeah, it looks like we can eventually use that cellulose to make plastic. We can use it to make wood pellets, which we can turn into charcoal. And then charcoal we can mix with oxygen to make carbon, so we can use that algae basically to create our carbon instead of using all coal. So that will be nice, but we got to get to wood processing too before we can do that. So this again, I'm going to need carbon dioxide, which carbon dioxide right now is just coming from coal, or again the limestone thing. So I'm going to have to set up a few of those. Let's go ahead and get this switched over. Thermal water extraction is now open. I want to do the electric though, so I can get better poles. It looks like we have burned up that whole tank, which is nice. We put that overflow valve in, so only the excess is going to get burned off, not anything we have in these two tanks. Another thing that I noticed that needed to get taken care of is over here with our washing plant. These two are never really running because we're full up on the thin mud water. So I'm going to make another one of these washing plants here and put it in so we can run two of them. Apparently we need one of these for every two of those. And then also we never did anything with the saline water here, so we need to get that taken care of. And saline water can be used to make brown algae. The brown algae can be used to make that acid I said we would probably see here in just a little bit. And that'll be able to be made into the cellulose with the cellulose fiber made into paper, and then we can use that for our wooden boards, so we don't actually have to use the trees up there for making our circuits. We can, but we wouldn't have to. I haven't decided if I'm going that route or not yet. And the reason because of that is we can also put it with purified water to make sodium carbonate, which we can use for making glass eventually. And we also can use it for this sodium cobalt stuff, radiothermal generator. Not sure what any of that is currently. We also need it to make chromate, but this is what I think we're going to be using it for. Is we're going to turn brown algae in a furnace apparently into lithium salt, which is lithium fluoride, which we will use to make lithium and lithium persulfite. And we need both of them to make lithium ion batteries eventually. So I'll probably I'll definitely set up an algae farm to make the brown algae, and I'll probably just throw that into a warehouse for right now, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with it when we actually need it. So I'm actually going to set that up and this other washing plant here in a minute. We also need to look into setting up the hydro refining, the flotation cells here. We'll probably do that in the next one or the next two. The reason why I say the next two is because I now see that it needs clay bricks, and so we need to get the clay brick stuff done, which I have just gotten done saying that we don't actually need them right now. Well, now we actually do. So I don't think that's quite the same brick, but we'll get into that in a minute, or when we get to that. I just wanted to show you guys this is what we're getting so far out of our sluicing of sand. So we've got 800 iron, 400 copper and crystal dust, 200 gold, and then some platinum and some chrome. So it's definitely getting us somewhere. And I have wasted probably enough time here running my yapper about all the things we need to get done. I'm going to go ahead and add to this, setting up nickel smelting. We're going to add that to the top of the list. Setting up bronze smelting. And changing over coke production. And hopefully that'll help me not to forget we need to do that stuff. I'm also going to put the flotation cells on the list as well. And I'm going to go ahead and get this done. I'll pause here, and then I'll bring you back and show you what I ended up with. And then we'll be done for today. Alright, so I got this set up. All I did was run a second pipe down and along here. I probably should extend this out and just bring them both in. Which if I end up setting up any more, that's what I'll end up doing. But now you can see they're all running. And then for down here, I just ran the pipe. And man, is this machine loud. Let me turn this down for you guys so it's not drowning me out too bad here. You can see it's really, really slow, so it's definitely not going to keep up with this. I'm going to make like probably 4 or 5 of these. There's actually a Algae Farm 2 which I can make. I just need more stone, brick, and iron. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You also notice it produces about 80 of them from one. So that's a pretty good load we're going to get out of each run. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, make probably 3 or 4 of the 2s and get that set up between this one and the next one. I'm guessing our next video is going to be setting up making those clay bricks. So I will see you guys next time for that. And then hopefully we can get into making that bronze and nickel and getting our piercing bullets before we end up needing to go and inevitably fight these guys over here, which is coming closer and closer. I also need to get something set up for, I still don't have carbon being delivered to these two, and I want to set up automating making my stone pipes and my stone underground pipes with that as well. So sometime here soon we need to get that worked on as well. So I will see you guys next time.